Hello, everyone. Welcome to the program. This is Politics Today, live on Channels Television. I'm Sean Wakimbaloye in Abuja. Let me bring you up to speed with what happened today in Borno State, where the Vice President, Senator Kashim Shettima, returned home. And as he arrived in Maiduguri, the Borno State capital, for the commissioning of the 15 MVA distribution injection substation built by the Niger Delta Power Holding Company and handed over to Yola Distribution Company for enhancing distributed access to electricity in Maiduguri. The substation, which will inject 15 megawatts to the state, is in line with the President's directive to the NDPHC to help bridge a distribution gap in the area of infrastructure following a meeting with generation companies in July last year, where they revealed that generation companies can generate more power, but the distribution companies do not have the infrastructure to evacuate even the current 5,000 megawatts being generated. The Vice President is in company of the National Chairman of the APC, Abdullah Ganduje, the Minister of Agriculture, Senator Abubakar Kyari, the Managing Director of the NDPHC, Jennifer Adhije, and Senator Ali Ndume, and the Governor of Borno State, Professor Babagana Zulum. What do you make of Nigeria's education sector? Are you one of those who are thinking that you want to go and do masters as a way of jackpotting outside of Nigeria? Are you one of those who think that well, education in Nigeria means little or nothing? Or well, if you think that research is not really working, and issues of out-of-school children, Almajiri education, girl child education, the issue of the Tinubu student loan scheme. What are your views? Of course, as soon as you are letting us know what you are saying, you'll see right there on your screen, so you can go to our Twitter handle or go to Europe, where as you're watching on YouTube, those comments will be shown on the screen. So we'll be speaking with the Minister of Education. Before we get started, our conversation with him, let's check out some of your political roundup stories.
The Edo Governorship Tribunal, hearing the petition of the People's Democratic Party (PDP) and its candidate Aswe Godalo, challenging the outcome of the governorship election in Benin City, has begun formal hearing in Abuja. At the resumed hearing, the tribunal expressed its dissatisfaction at the PDP over their failure to produce more witnesses in the petition. The PDP counsel, Mr. Adetunji Oyeyipo, however, pleaded the tribunal that most of their proposed witnesses suffered travel disruptions and would work assiduously to prime them down. The governor of the central bank, Mr. Olayemi Cardoso, has announced that forensic verification to clear all pending foreign exchange backlogs are now completed and payments will commence soon. Speaking during the launch of the foreign exchange code in Abuja, Mr. Cardoso lamented how it took the bank over 12 months to clear the $7 billion foreign exchange backlog in 2024. The Apex Bank boss says the era of multiple exchange rates is gone, and all deposit money banks who flout the ethics of the foreign exchange code will face sanctions. The embattled National Secretary of the People's Democratic Party, Mr. Samuel Anyanwu, is seeking the support of leaders of the PDP from the Southeast to protect his office. Speaking at a meeting of the Southeast members of the PDP National and State Working Committee in Abuja, Mr. Anyanwu condemns efforts by some of his kinsmen to unseat him.
My worry is that here is a National Working Committee. Why is it that it is only in the Southeast our own people are desirous of removing their own? For what just cause?
Governor Dauda Lawal of Zamfara State has assured corps members of their safety as the National Youth Service Corps resumes orientation camp in the state. The governor stated this when he declared open the NYSC 2024 Batch C Stream 2 orientation course at the temporary camp in Gusau, the state capital. He promised corps members that his administration is dedicated to ensuring their well-being, safety, and security across the state. Governor Nasir Idris of Kebbi State has declared that the All Progressives Congress, APC, remains the party to beat in the 2027 elections in the state, citing the administration's numerous impactful projects that directly benefit the residents of the state. state. The governor made this statement during his ongoing thank you tour across the state. During the visit, the governor received defectors into the All Progressives Congress to further strengthen the party's position in the state. To Kaduna State, where the people of Kajuru local government area are demanding a seat in the House of Representatives under the Chukun Kajuru federal constituency for the interest of fairness, justice, and equity. The demand is ahead of the upcoming by-election in the constituency following the death of Honorable Ekene Adams, the former representative of the constituency. At a news conference in Chukun Kajuru federal constituency, the people called on all political parties to give their tickets only to indigents of Kajuru local government area for the by-election.
Thank you so much, everyone, for staying with us. Let me put your political history knowledge to test tonight on our political quiz tonight. And the question we're asking you, who was the first Nigerian to become Governor General of an independent Nigeria in 1960? Is it Nnamdi Azikiwe, or Tafawa Balewa, or Bafemi Awolowo, or Ahmadu Bello? Who was the first Nigerian to become Governor General of an independent Nigeria in 1960? Get your fingers working, and know that perhaps you're trying to rack your brain now to find out what happened in that history. Yeah, let us know. We'll show you the answer in the course of the program. Tonight, our attention is on education, and the Minister of Education, Dr. Tunji Alausa, is our guest. He's live with us here in our Abuja studio. Thank you so much, Honorable Minister, for joining us tonight.
Thank you, Sheil. Nice to be here.
I appreciate your time tonight. I've seen some of what you have laid out since you took over from Professor Tahir Maman, coming from the health sector and perhaps a lot of people don't know your history, as they perhaps will be wondering, what is a medical doctor doing as a Minister of Education? And your time in the United States, how much of knowledge and experience you probably are bringing to bear? Well, as a minister, what comes out to you the most that you think, I want to change and fix coming into this office?
Yeah, there are a lot of things that need to be changed, that we need to change in the education sector. And if you heard the president would say he never gives a job to anybody that he thinks he will not be able to do the job. So, you know, President Bola Tinubu has an unquantifiable passion on how we need to improve human capital development of this country. When we talk about human capital development, you're talking about education, health, and social protection. And as you can see, when the president was campaigning, he spoke directly to Nigerians on multiple campaign trails that he went. He said, I'll take difficult decisions, but I'll put Nigeria on the path of sustainability. And we've seen now in the past almost 18 months, we've seen the benefit of, some of the benefits of the hard decisions that the president has taken. We're not there yet, we're not fully out of the woods yet, but the country is on the right trajectory now. The president sent me to the Ministry of Education with clear mandate to improve quality of the education and ensure qualitative education is delivered to every single citizen of Nigeria.
So, I mean, the reason why I asked that first question is from someone who studied medicine in University of Lagos. And a lot of people do not know that you have your background as an academic medical doctor also.
Yes.
And that's why I'm bringing you a nephrologist, isn't it?
Yes.
And you became an assistant professor at the Rush University Medical School.
Yes.
Before you started pursuing a specialized training in nephrology and hypertension. And this is important because a lot of the times we need to understand what works outside of this country to be able to help fix what is not working. And education sector in Nigeria is in such a mess. And that's why I shot that question at you first. For someone who had education here in Nigeria for the better part of your adult life before moving to the United States, and you've gone that far in your academic and your professional career, there must be something that you think is a major challenge. And becoming an education minister, what would give you the most joy? For someone who has benefited from both worlds, I'm very sure that you benefited from some scholarship in Nigeria or outside of Nigeria, but you've experienced good, bad, and ugly. Yes. What do you think is a major challenge of education in Nigeria?
I'll tell you a few. There are quite a few things that are major challenges of education in Nigeria. And I'll tell you, I benefited, people of my age and people older than me, we got the best of this country. We had free education, but very qualitative, high-quality education. And it's reflected in the quality of Nigerians going out of the country. We excel, Nigerians excel everywhere they go. That meant the education they got was very good, no doubt about that. Fast forward a few decades afterwards, things have gone so bad. Then, there's no need to complain. We have to fix the system. And that's why I'm here at the Education Ministry to fix the education system. And we started. We came in clear, high priority areas. There are lots of issues that you need to, that's facing the education system today. So how do you begin to tackle these issues in a more awesome way that you can get quick result, medium-term result, and long-term result? But whatever we're doing today, we're doing it for sustainability so that decades to come, our education system will continue to get better and get better, not go the other way. So what are our 6 priority areas? Number 1, TVET, technical, vocational, education and training. What we've done, if you look at 30, 40 years ago, there were technical colleges all across the country. Today, those technical colleges are gone. And what happened over the these years is that people now perceive technical education as very primitive. That the people that can get to universities are the ones that will go for technical education. That's not the case. Look at the industrial economy in Europe, Germany, Italy. They focus heavily on technical education, and decades over decades, the economy got stronger and stronger. That's what we're trying. That's what we will be doing. We don't have a choice. We've laid out a clear, ambitious agenda for technical and vocational education. And the president has been so supportive. And the good thing is, I told you, President Bola Tinubu, believe in harnessing, expanding human capital of this country. It's giving us at least the budget we asked for when we went to it.
Is that what you asked for?
I mean, yes, the president gladly approved everything. I wish I asked him for more, but what we asked him, he approved it.
Now, so the question here is whether or not we have actually even met the global standard in terms of human capital development. There is a United Nations standard for budget for education, for health, but we are still far behind that quota. There is what the United Nations says, your budget, the quota for education should be, and I think it's about 15%, isn't it?
About 20%.
About 20%, but we are doing less than that. And over the years, we have not even met up to 10% of our national budget for education.
Yeah, look at where we're coming from. You see, this international benchmark, the budget, the UNESCO suggestion for budget for education should be about 20% of the total budget. But then, we talk about human capital. Let me go that route. And that's why I keep talking to people, to Nigerians, that when you have the political will, we have a president that has the strongest will to expand our human capital development. Today, Nigeria has one of the lowest human capital index. And I'll tell you what that means. We have a human capital index of 0.32. That means today, a child born in Nigeria only has 32% chance of unleashing his human opportunity from the time from that child was born to the time he dies. So 32% chance, that's quite low. Now, when we now talk about how do we now begin to expand our human capital index to improve on that, you have to talk about a budgetary allocation. This year, 2025, the president has given the highest budgetary allocation to education, the third after defense and infrastructure development. This is one of the largest in the ever. in education. And beyond that, I talk about human capital development. We look about health and social sector. 2024 as well, the president gave one of the highest budgetary allocation to health, and he followed through this 2025 with a higher amount of higher budgetary allocation to health. So once we have this political goal, what we now need to do is to mobilize these funds to where we will make the most significant gain in improving our educational system.
So I look at a lot of, and I made reference, and I'm going to be holding you accountable to that, Minister. You received lectures, and some of you and your colleagues in your own generation, you enjoyed. In fact, they were giving you in hostels those days, quarter of a chicken, half of a chicken in your hostels. You were enjoying it. And the military did a lot of good things when it comes to all of that, free education and a lot of scholarships that a lot of people enjoyed. And the kind of classroom you taught at Rush University, the ones you enjoyed in the United States. And in the good days of University of Lagos, I don't know what their classrooms look like. One major thing right now, Minister, is that some of our classrooms are overstretched. Infrastructure problem, you cannot even sit. Lecturers fanning themselves because of heat. They are in sorry state. Are you fixing the infrastructure first and foremost? Because if the environment is not conducive for both teachers and students, how can learning be possible?
You're nipping it right on the bud. The one priority area we're going to be doing is to fix these infrastructures. Rehabilitate, improve, and get them to a very high standard. Enough of building new buildings. I just had a meeting with the TED Fund Executive Secretary yesterday to communicate in clear terms the directives given by the President to me. One, in this 2024 2025 budgetary allocation to TED Fund, higher institutions, tertiary institutions, universities, polytechnics, and colleges of education will use their fund to improve existing infrastructures, repair and rehabilitate hostels, lecture theaters, auditoriums, laboratories, and classes, as well as offices. That's what we will be spending all these intervention funds that will be given to our tertiary institutions in this 2025. And let's step back a little bit. You know, our population is grown in a geometric fashion in the last few decades, but we need to expand capacities of our institutions as well. But if you go back to several of these institutions, TED Fund has performed really fairly well. What we're now doing is to ensure that every single naira that TED Fund is sending to our tertiary institution, we get the maximum output out of it. And we've had multiple meetings with TED Fund, and we are in full alignment on what we will be doing in this 2025 and going forward.
So the assurance is that we should not focus on new buildings.
Absolutely.
Fix the ones on the ground.
Yes.
And I know that it's not, primary school education is not under your purview. It's the basic and primary education are under the state's purview. And you own most tertiary institutions and you own most secondary institutions, the federal government colleges and the College of Education that are under the purview of the federal government. The question here is, what will be your initiative in terms of digital education? Because I see that is part of your 6 area of focus. The curriculum, some of them are not even up to date. Digital education, which is what is COVID has shown us that digitalization of education is very critical, and we were struggling to meet up when that hit us at that time. Those are critical areas, and how fast are you moving in these areas?
Let me bring you to speed and clear some of the assertions that you've just made here. When it comes to curriculum development, we've just completed the National Education Research Development Council has just completed full curriculum review for our basic education. That means a primary school and GSS, where you heard 15 skill sets have been inculcated in our curriculum, And also history is back in that curriculum, as well as civic responsibilities. That curriculum will be started this year. We will implement it this year in this academic year of 2000, September 2025. The teachers, the last phase of full implementation is what we're going through now.
So
the teachers
there are about 5 or 4 subjects that you have talked about now: civic education, history,
and we've added 15 skills, 15 vocational skills.
It used to be under introductory technology, Introtech.
Whatever, but we have 15.
In what area are you in
They would, no, part of the skills, we've added skills to the training and the basic.
Are they going to be co-curricular, or is going to be in curricular?
It's in curricular.
It's going to be part of.
It's part of it. It's part
graded.
Graded, yes, graded.
Including history, but history is going to be at the secondary level.
No. And in fact, we've incorporated it into the basic education level, which will be from primary 6 to GSS 3. And we're working on also reviewing the curriculum for the senior secondary school education, and we're going to add history to that secondary school education as well. I just met with the Director General of National Orientation Agency as well. They've collaborated very well with us while we're building this curriculum of civic responsibilities, civic duties, and history with the basic education. Well, I'm setting up, inaugurating an interagency committee probably in the next 1 or 2 weeks to work with several of our directors and several agencies, National Education Research Development Council, to work with the National Commission for Education, National University Commission, National Board for Technical Education, and several directorates in and Federal Ministry of Education. We will work to also expand these civic duties into our tertiary education as well. So if you go to College of Education, Polytechnic, and universities, you would have to study and pass those courses. So
will it be an admission prerequisite, or is going to be because there are, for JAM, for example, you need 5 courses. You need to pass 5 courses, which include sometimes English and mathematics.
It will not be admission prerequisite, but it will be a graduating prerequisite. Before you could graduate, you would have to pass
history, civics.
No, those courses. We're building it up now, but it will be part of what we're training.
But that starts in September.
No, that will start. No, the basic education will start in September. Hopefully, as we build this up, probably the university education, if we can move quickly on this as well, the tertiary one will get it to start with the next admission cycle when they go to school. We need to educate as citizens on the history of this country. That's what will build the confidence in them. There's so much, there's this linkage between our history and our citizens today. They don't have a clue on what the rich history and heritage of this country, and we have to bring that back. And as you teach them more, the values, the history, what our forefathers have gone through to get this country to where it is today, what we need to do to continue to advance the cause, advance the democracy, advance patriotism in the country. We need to teach citizens that. We need to bring it to the forefront that these things are very important. Civil responsibility, citizen engagement. And you see President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is very big on that. Actually, as part of my own grading and as part of with other ministerial grading on the compact we signed with the president on delivering what he asked us based on his mandate, renewed hope agenda. Civic and citizen engagement is a big component of that. And as we also need to engage as citizens to teach them the rich history and heritage that this country has.
I mean, those of us, I took history way back in secondary school, although it was out of interest. And we're just a handful of us that were interested. Unfortunately, we couldn't even sit for it because there were no avenue, no enough opportunity for us to sit for history. I was very interested learning about the Usman Dafodio, and a whole lot of history that we learned in secondary school. But the question is how history left our curriculum. I'm happy that it's coming back. But the question is that another government comes, another minister comes, and he removes it from, are you gazetting it? Are you making it a law? Such that it's not easy for someone to just wake up and take what is important in part of growing up or learning as a citizen of Nigeria out of the school curriculum.
Your guess is as good as mine. I don't know how it got taken off because, like you said, I learned so much about Borno, Kanuri Empire, Borno Empire, Sokoto, Usman Fodio, and it gave you sense of belonging as a citizen of this country. But what we've done is that we've gone to the National Council of Education. National Council of Education is the highest policy-making body in the country. The members are myself and Honorable Staff for State for Education and all the 36 commissioners, including the FCT mandate secretary for education. So that's where we discuss policy, and once we agree, it becomes part of our national policy on education. And that's enough.
And that has been agreed upon?
Yes.
The curriculum framework and how it should look has been agreed upon?
Yes, and we have, we have an emergency National Council of Education and the first week in February that I've requested to discuss other things like we need to pass bullying policy because we realized that we don't have a formal official policy on bullying in schools. From basic education to universities, we're passing that as well in this emergency meeting that we will be doing on the 6th of February. We also have 2 or 3 other things on the agenda.
So bullying, not only because academically, I mean, for those who have lectured before, bullying is not only when SS3 student is bullying SS2. Bullying also happens with an HOD that is frustrating another. So bullying between staff are also there, isn't it?
Yes, and that's why we've engaged the Attorney General Office. They've been so supportive of us. We're putting a comprehensive policy together on bullying. And what we're also going to be doing is to people come and change things, and I'm going to come back to your question about gazetting. Somebody about technical education is converted the federal technical schools and made the Federal School of Science and Technical School. So what happened over the last several years, those schools just basically became another secondary school where you have 90% of the students, 95% of the students are either in GSS SSS, with less than 5% in technical going for technical education. We're going to change those schools back to full federal technical schools, federal technical college.
So you can equip builders, masons, because guess what? If you have, and in America, for example, the ability to do it yourself. Yes. In fact, manufacturers will couple anything you want to buy, and they will put notes there that you can almost do anything. People in America buy tools in their house. Tool is not anything you find it in Tesco and find it everywhere. You can really do anything all by yourself. And you ask anyone who is trying to build a house or build anything today, they will tell you that Nigerians we don't have good tilers. You have to go to Chad and Niger Republic to go and get good tilers. So in this vocational institution, the plan is to get those who are good with handiwork, masons, builders, carpentry, and all of that. Is that the right idea?
Yes, we're making technical and vocational education very prestigious now. And please give me about 5 minutes to talk about this technical and vocational education, because this is the big part of our agenda. And as you said, we have to. You today you go. You're tiling. You go to most construction sites. The tilers that you get there from Republic of Benin, Togo, that should not be the case. We have to build this big part of our educational system. We're bringing it back, and we're bringing it back with full force. You go to, like you said, you go to any UK, US today, a plumber earns more than a doctor. An electrician in England earns more than a doctor. So what are you talking here? So we want to now bring this pool of workers back. So what we're doing with our technical and vocational education is that we've laid out a four-step approach here. We would pay students to go to those schools. We've modeled how much we're going to pay them when we roll the program out. We'll be announcing that. We'll pay them to go to school. That's step one. Step two, the school that they're actually going to, we will pay them decent tuition fee there, because we need to really unlock a new value chain in a technical education system. They will make money from being from tuition coming to them, so that they can expand their workshop, they can expand their infrastructures. And on the third step is what we call the mastercraft person. That's where they learn the practical skill. What we've done is that we've changed things. We really 360-degree change the education, the instruction. And we will change the instruction at this technical college to what I call reverse Pareto rule. What is Pareto rule? What is success? Pareto rule, what is success? Success is 20% policy and 90% implementation. So what we will be doing with our technical education will be, it will just be 20% didactic and 80% hands-on training. On the step 3, let me go back there. We pre-qualify the mastercraft persons from large industry to medium-sized industry and the small-sized industry. I'll give you an example now. We go to the artisan level. Say you want to train our students on tiling. We'll go with quality assure you that you have the capacity to train them. We'll ask you how many students can you train. 10 students. We'll give you 10 students and we'll pay you for each of those students every month. We will go back to come and check to be sure those students are being taught properly. We will recruit 774 performance monitoring officers for each local government that will go around to ensure those students are getting the right practical training. We've designed three kind of instructional center here. The first one, the skill training center. The second one, the Vocational Enterprise Institute and the technical colleges, both state and the federal technical colleges. For the skill training center, it will be 6-month training, and that will be open to people that drop out from school, people that didn't finish primary school, people that didn't complete a JSS. They'll have 6 months of training there. And we've been very careful and deliberate in the kind of skills we will be training at these schools. We've done labor gap analysis to see what skills are needed. And we're also incorporating new emerging skill sets.
What are the skills that are missing within the society?
Oh, now look at now. We have CNG conversion. The president we're going big on CNG conversion. We're going to be training CNG conversion technicians, solar installers and renewable solar and renewable energy. We're going to train technicians to manage, to install, and to repair, and also mechanized farming, and as well as other things like plumbing, electrician, woodwork, and several others, and livestock production. We've cut down before. There were about 98 skills in a skill compendium. We've cut it down to about 26 that we know things that are relevant to the needs of our country today. And we're not doing that alone. We're also doing labor gap analysis to train people. We go to a state. If today a labor gap analysis shows that in FCT we have more need for tilers, we have more need for plumber, or we have more need for livestock people, more need for livestock technicians or mechanized farming technicians, we will zero in on those training so that we're not producing, we don't turn around to produce people and not have job. We want to train them so that they'll have job. And it's step 4. As they're finishing their training, we will also give them entrepreneurial grant to start up. If you want to start up, you get entrepreneurial grant. And the other thing the president has added to this, that, okay, beyond the entrepreneurial grant you're giving them, what about if they need more money? The president directed me to meet with the Bank of Industry CEO. We've met that they cannot arrange for a top-up credit, single-digit credit. And I'll give you a specific example here. There's this impressive, intelligent gentleman that is building a poultry farm for primary school, for basic primary school. He will build one. It cost him about 10 million naira to build, with about 100 birds. And those 100 birds will lay about 2.5 crates of eggs. Each crate of egg will sell for about 7,000 naira a day. So if you conduct 2.5, that's about 18,000 naira income revenue a day. The amount you spend to feed those birds, it's about 9,000 or 10,000. So on a daily basis, there's a profit margin of 7,000 a day. with 100 birds. If we're able to empower people, set up those kind of poultry farm for them, if you calculate that 7,000 times 30, that's almost 210,000 naira a month.
Minister.
That's good income for anybody. And if you keep expanding, you make more money.
All right, Minister, we're due for a break, but quickly, can you tell us, because China today has become the hub of industrialization. America farm out most of their coupling of Apple is a brainchild of Americans, but mostly being put together, the Apple product being put together in China. And there isn't anything today that you want to produce that you cannot get in China. What is the policy of this government? What would we say we want to be known for in terms of equipping our young people and educating the people of Nigeria? We know what the UK and Oxford University and the rest of we know what they stand for. What do we want to be known for as an education, in terms of education in Nigeria?
The simple answer to that is that we're moving our country, our educational system, a country from resource-based economy to a knowledge-based economy. We're very lucky. We have a very unique demography in the world. 220 million people. Of those 220 million people, 70% of them are below the age of 30 years. Dynamic, energetic young men and women. They just need to be given the opportunities. And that's what we're doing as a government. We will give them the skill set they need to be useful to themselves, useful to their community, useful to the country and the world at large. These are young citizens that are yearning for this support, and this is the succor that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has brought to them. And simple answer again, moving our country from a resource-based economy to a knowledge-based economy. We have the capacity to do it, and that's what we're working on at the Federal Ministry of Education, and we're working so tireless to move to actualize the mandate of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu in his resolve to ensure that every single citizen of this country get high qualitative education. Not just education that is meaningful and useful to them, to the citizens.
All right, let's take a break, Honorable Minister. But when we come back, we would like to know the plan of the Tinubu administration on out-of-school children. A lot of them. What are the hopes of all these children, and what is the plan of this government in that respect? The Education Minister is still with us. We'll be talking about almost 20 million of these children who are on the streets in Nigeria today. We'll be right back, everyone. Thank you so much, everyone, for staying with us tonight. The Honorable Minister for Education, Dr. Tunji Alhassan, has been speaking with us on the program tonight. Thanks so much indeed for your time. There's something that is very significant. You imagine in 2023 alone, about almost 60,000 Nigerians went to the UK for education purposes. And the living expenses range from about £22,000 to about almost £50,000 yearly for someone studying in the UK. They spend that kind of money. Some of them go to get loans. It's been even said that about $40 billion was being spent in 10 years for Nigerians wanting to study abroad. It means one thing, that the quality of education has dropped so drastically that people believe that for you to get any reasonable job, you have to go abroad, have a study, and be able to show that you have evidence that you have studied hard. Those who believe that, why can't we fix, if it's only 5 universities first, fix it, let it be at par with some of the best universities in the UK, in Singapore, in the US, and the rest, so that people, the kind of money that can come into Nigeria will be reasonable. On all of these, education tourism will drastically come down. Is your government thinking about this, Minister?
Absolutely. And the simple answer to that is Christine, yes. 2 things I'm going to address here quickly. What you said, that forward migration to the UK, US, and other countries, things are actually reversing now. We're seeing more people now coming back to school. And I'll tell you I'm just not telling you things because I thought about.
What are the facts?
And I'm going to give you the facts. I show you have there's this exam called JUPEB, Joint University Preliminary Examination Board. That some universities have come together to do. I know University of Lagos is one of them. I think Ibadan. This is like an A-level exam. What we're seeing, the last time I spoke to the Vice Chancellor of University of Lagos, we're seeing a lot of this candidates come back. I was actually asking about our law, admission to our law program for 2025. They admitted 271 candidates, if I can recall correctly. Each of those candidates got 16 points, 3 A's. And these are exams that you can't game. These are exams that you can't cheat. You know, we have problem with exam malpractice cheating, which we're addressing frontally as a government. This is not acceptable because if you let people cheat, you disincentivize the hardworking people. This government will tackle this issue of miracle center, this pervasive exam cheating decisively. We will bring a complete end to this menace that has really invaded our education system. But with people, with quality of schools, now the quality of our schools, the quality is getting better. And what you said that, why can't we fix 5 universities? In fact, I've just gotten we're working on some proposal to actually now identify 2 or 3 universities in each geopolitical zone, make them center of research. We can focus on more postgraduate education, focus on research. So they will train the people, the manpower we need for all our other universities. That proposal, plan is being actively worked on now, and we will be making announcements with that regard very soon.
And that you think that we'll be able to advance quality and competitiveness. I mean, if you look at the ranking, a lot of the public institutions are getting lower by the day, and you see the private institutions, the like of Covenant University, Afe Babalola University, Bayes University, some of these universities, in terms of quality, you look at it, South Africa, Egypt are leading in rating of African university. Nigeria going as very, very low. And this is not sharing at all.
Not quite though. Some of our public universities, the quality they've actually moved up in rating. Some of our public universities, but then you said something that is really very interesting. You're talking about Afe Babalola, you're talking about Bayes University, you're talking about conventional universities. Guess who are the people, who are the lecturers teaching there? It's Nigerians. They haven't gone out to get people from abroad. What's happened is that there's been some shift in manpower. These universities have deeper pockets. They're recruiting people, very intelligent, excellent professors, lecturers from a public school to go lecture in their universities. So the ecosystem is still there. As we also continue to work to improve the welfare of our lecturers, of our teachers, from primary school to the tertiary education level, we will retain more people in our public education system as well. I just had a meeting just last week with the chairman and Salary and Wages Commission. We're working on how we can work on improving the welfare package of teachers, not just in the tertiary education, in our tertiary education centers, but all levels of education from primary school, from the basic education to tertiary education.
If you look at the rating on African continent, South Africa is leading the pack. First 5, first 6, first 3 universities are in South Africa, Morocco, Egypt, and the rest. Nigeria down the ladder, not even the first 10 in rating. Under your watch, would that change?
Absolutely, that will change. That will change. That will change. You can take me to the bank on this, because this is what the president is very clear, very directional, very longitudinal.
Because I wonder what South Africa, what has happened to the education in South Africa
very clear,
that makes them top the ladder in rating.
Is the political
year and year.
Here is the political will. We have the political will now. We have to seize this moment.
I asked you earlier,
the president is very clear, very longitudinal, very directional on his mandate, on where he wants the education system of Nigeria to go. Quality. And this will, I'm telling you, it will change. The rating of our university will go up. Take it to the bank. We don't have a choice here. We have all the support to do this, and we will do it. And we've started already.
Because one of the other things I asked you is about digital education. And there's also laid back, so archaic teaching styles in Nigeria. How digital are you hoping to take the game?
Very good. We have an ambitious data and digitalization plan. And that's part of one of our 6 high priority areas, which I told you: TVET, expanding STEM education, reducing the burden of hard-to-school children, improving girl-child education, and expansive quality assurance of our education system. And the 6th high priority is data and digitalization. And this is just not about talk. We've moved quickly on this. Just on Monday, just actually yesterday, I launched the National Nigeria Education Digital Initiative Implementation Team of almost 25 members. The committee consists of subject matter experts, and we brought all various agencies together to build a new and expansive education database for our country. We will be launching, we hope this database will be ready by end of second quarter, or at the earliest.
Your predecessor said they were doing that, a national dashboard where you can see. Are you following up on that?
Of course. We've even expanded on that. We have a robust plan to build what we call EDM, Nigeria Education Data Bank, that will monitor, will start from the child journey, from early child care development center, and monitor the child journey through basic education, post-basic education, and tertiary education. That we will know. Once any child drops off, we'll know. We can intervene quickly. Right now, it's not just a knee-jerk approach. We're creating a very seamless.
When will that launch? Because it's taking too long.
I inaugurated the committee yesterday. We're also in a hurry. We're in a hurry for this. I inaugurated the committee yesterday. We're working. I'm the chairman of that committee. That tells you how important this is. And we are hoping to have that this technology platform rolled out by June, or at the latest. Second, and I need to talk to you about online digital education. We're also, because we can't hire ourselves out of this teachers shortage. But what we've done, we have the online classes that we're being beamed out today live for all GSS courses and SS courses. These classes are being beamed out of some of our federal tertiary, some of our federal university colleges, and it consists of several courses: maths, English, chemistry, physics. So anybody today, even in the remotest part of the country, you can log on and get those courses. So we're expanding this to every single part of the country.
Quickly, Minister, I have some quick questions, and I have very little time. You said that if you fail any course in your WAEC or NECO or examination, you do not have to resit the whole year. You just have to go for the examination. Is that right?
That's the new. I'll tell you, I haven't confirmed that with the registrar, with the executive secretary of NECO, the country rep of WAEC. Let me confirm that. I don't want to come and make unequivocal statement on national TV. It was the news I read, but I haven't confirmed that. And I don't want to confirm what I haven't got.
But if approved, that means that if that policy is approved, it then means that you fail one course, you don't have to receipt for the whole year. You just have to write that.
Let me confirm that.
Okay,
let me confirm
we wait for you to do that.
Yes.
So now, another issue is the salaries owed to Federal Unity Colleges teachers who were employed from 2018 to 2020. Are you fixing that? Because not only them, university lecturers, non-university lecturers, God forbid that we see any kind of teachers strike in universities in Nigeria. A lot of people spend years and years at home, and they're not able to finish on time their courses.
We're doing everything to keep our children in school. We're doing everything to avert any strike, either from Unity School or our universities. Let me quickly talk about, we've engaged ASU, we've engaged the ASU, even the Polytechnic and the Colleges of Education, academic and non-academic union. There's a sticking issue about this needs assessment money that was promised to them. We're working closely. Last week I met with the chairman of the Senate Appropriation Committee and the chairman of House of Rep Appropriation Committee. They've given me their commitment that needs assessment money would be put in this 2025 Appropriation Act. So, and we're engaging, we're having regular meetings with them. So everybody wants, we all want our kids to be in school. And they are reasonable as well, and government is reasonable. We are talking mutually, and you have an impeccable Nigerian, Alhaji Ayale Ahmed from Head of Service, that is leading the government team in talking to the academic staff union of Nigerian universities, as well as the non-academic unions. So I think we're in complete engagement. As you talked about the salaries owed to the unity schools, I think we've moved the process up. The head of service is involved. I think we're at the final stage. We're at the final stages now. Those will be paid. We just want people to be patient. You know, these problems, of course, the president would say, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu would say, you know, he campaigned for the job, that we shouldn't pity him. He inherits the assets and liabilities. But then, a lot of the things, the cash flow of the country was rough when the president took over. But things have gotten better. And these problems preceded this administration. We are not shying away. It's our responsibility now. We will take care of it, but people should just be patient. We can't solve everything in a jiffy.
Where we will anchor is on the out-of-school children, and it's worrisome, isn't it? There are a lot of our children, and they're numbering over 20 million or more that are out of school. Well, approximately 10.5 million Nigerians out of school. That's what UNESCO is. They're maybe making it one of the highest in the world, if not the highest. Are we stemming the tide and drastically too? What are the steps?
We have multifaceted approach to stem this tide of out of school children. It depends on the statistics you were looking at. Some people say 10 million, 15 million, 17 million, 20 million. Whatever statistic, it's bad. And let me splice that number down a little bit for you again. Of those 15 million, if you chose 15 million, 50% of those 50% of that, they've never been to school. 25% drop out, 25% are majority. We have multifaceted approach. Today, we just had a big engagement with our traditional leaders and religious leader led by His Eminence, Sultan of Sokoto, who was leading, he's been using a lot of his personal influence, effort, resources to help us engage traditional leaders as well as religious leaders. We're talking to them. We also have specific programs that are targeted to our girl child education. We have also, government is also investing a lot of money. We're working collaboratively with our subnational government. We can't do this alone. Like President will say, the citizens reside at the state level. We are talking to our governors. I'm going to be meeting. I'm going to meet with governors that have attended a National Governor Forum. I have another meeting that's been scheduled. We're engaging them actively.
Minister, and I wish you the very best. This is our very first engagement on this program. You've outlined all of your plans, and hopefully the next time we'll be holding you accountable to how you have been able to execute them. Well, thank you so much, Honorable Minister of Education, Dr. Tunji Alhassan. I wish you the very best.
Thank you so much, Shehu. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Well, for those of you who are wondering what is the answer to the quiz, who was the very first Nigerian to become Governor General of an independent Nigeria in 1960? So the answer is A, Nnamdi Azikiwe. Thank you so much, everyone. That's our show for tonight, man. Thanks for watching. I'm Sean Akimbale. God bless Nigeria.